Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us once again for our daily English news edition. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, presenting a translated version of today's top news stories right here on Aura News at 6 p.m. Many immigrant Albanians coming home to celebrate the holidays with their families had difficulty getting their children across the border this year because of a technical problem with child passports. It appears that in the years 2009 and 2010, children applying for passports were given a 10-year passport instead of the 5 years stipulated by the law. Because of the mix-up, they have not been allowed to cross the borders, causing a great deal of difficulty for their parents. According to the Interior Ministry, if a 10-year passport for a child under 16 years old is beyond its intended 5-year expiration date, it becomes invalid, and the citizens must apply for a fresh one in order to cross the border. The ministry says that there are about 150,000 Albanians who must reapply for passports for their kids because of this technical error in the system during the production of the biometric documents at that time. According to the law, passports for children under 16 years of age should only be valid for 5 years. The Interior Ministry claims that it did notify the Albanians living abroad of this issue through the media and by telephone. But that did not stop thousands of migrant families from encountering this problem while trying to travel home for the holidays. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, please. On Tuesday, the Tax Directorate will begin its planned services of business audits, undeterred by the suspension of the law on tax procedures. The law was suspended by the Constitutional Court, which, among other things, hoped to give business owners the opportunity to self-declare any goods that they may possess without documentation. Business owners were given until December 31st to declare any merchandise that they were holding off the books. The Vice General Tax Director has informed Aura News that the audits of business inventories have nothing to do with the law, and that this is a functional duty of the Tax Directorate. He said, "We will conduct these audits so that the balance sheets in 2016 will portray the true inventories. This will make monitoring the situation easier." He added that if inventory inconsistencies are found, penalties will be imposed based upon the old law, which provides for the confiscation of any items without bills. The suspension of the law by the Constitutional Court allowed business owners to self-declare any goods for which they do not have proper documents through a bill prepared by the buyer. The Vice Director explained that it was in the owner's best interest to take advantage of this option. The uncertainty and pessimism of Albania's businesses is being reflected in a further reduction of bank lending. The data from the Bank of Albania shows that in November, the total lending to the business sector amounted to about 440 billion lek, marking a decrease of 1.2 billion compared to the previous month. Compared to the same period a year ago, lending decreased by about 16 billion lek, or 3.7%. Total lending for this period amounted to 549 billion lek, marking a growth of 1 billion compared to October. This growth comes from loans that were given to state corporations, which increased by 1.3 billion lek. The lack of rain has reduced the flow of the rivers and subsequently forced the Albanian Power Corporation to take on bank loans for energy imports, which are backed by the guarantee of the government. The slowdown of the economic activity in the country, the problems created by the operation against informality, and the frequent legal changes are some of the factors that have diminished the business demand for loans and the investments as well. This is happening at a time when the interest rate on new loans has also declined, falling to 7.4% in November, from 8% in October. The Democratic Party has announced that they will file charges against the mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, claiming that his corrupt decisions have violated the law. They indicate that the charges will be connected to the City Council decisions on December 30th, which they claim were both illegal and corrupt. A party representative explained the charges as follows. The mayor's decision to increase the local taxes by $50 million is invalid because it was made before the President of the Republic decreed the law on taxes and fees. For the same reason, the approval of the 2016 budget for the City Hall is invalid because it is based on an act that has not yet entered into power. The corrupt affair of giving the Verona parking lot as a concession for 35 years to a client who will invest $20 million and earn over $500 million under the same business plan is illegal because the contract that was adopted was made by Verona and is based on the concession law from 2006 and not from 2013. The speed at which the City Council adopted this corrupt concession has led to the violation of the basic requirements of the law. The councillor went on to say that the Democratic Party is determined to follow through with this legal battle, saying that these actions have worsened the lives of the citizens. Delays within the Socialist Party organization have made the postponement of the party Congress inevitable. The Congress was set to be held in January, and based on the decision of the Assembly, the chairman of the branches in Fier, Corça, and Elbasan should have been elected by December 15th. Clearly, the party was not able to hit this deadline. Additionally, the party was unable to elect its delegates, which should have been done by November 21st. Dating back to October, there have been rumors circulating that the Socialist Party may need to postpone the Congress. The MP Koto Kokodima had presented an alternative platform, requesting that the Congress be held by the end of April 2016. His proposal was rejected by the majority of the ministers and MPs, as well as the head of the Socialist Party parliamentary group, Gramoz Rucci. The Socialist Assembly is the body that has the power to postpone the Congress. The municipality of Tirana has signed an agreement with the Italian city of Verona to create a public enterprise that will deal with waste collection and management. Through this agreement signed by the two mayors, Tirana will benefit from the experience of the local government of Verona and take steps to clean up the city. As a result, the garbage will no longer be collected by the private companies, which had divided the capital up into 4 regions for waste management, but by a public enterprise that will be established at the end of March. In accordance to the agreement signed by the mayors of Tirana and Verona, the enterprise will follow the practices of the municipality of Verona. Mayor Valii made the following announcement today. Starting in February or March, a public company of the municipalities of Tirana and Verona will manage the waste and cleaning of the central part of Tirana, introducing the concept of recycling and waste separation at the source of the waste. The mayor of Verona also commented, "I came here last year as well, and today Tirana gives me the impression of a growing city. I congratulate you because the city is better organized than it was a few months ago. The goal of this cooperation should be the introduction of best practices," said Mr. Tosi. Before the cooperation agreement was signed, Mayor Valii presented Mayor Tosi with the key of the city. Just days before the opposition protest in Kosovo, the British Ambassador O'Connell made the statement that the actions of the opposition representatives in Parliament have not been democratic. During an interview, he underlined the importance of respecting the institutions, stressing that any political process must be realized through them and not through other means. He said, we are open to talking with them, but they should not think that their actions are democratic. Attacking politicians, trying to speak on behalf of the nation, using violence, these are not democratic means. I see no reason why violence should be used," said Mr. O'Connell. He also commented on the denial of Kosovo's membership in UNESCO, saying that it was a big disappointment. "It was a disappointment that Kosovo was not successful because of only 2 votes, he said. But I think it is now clear that most of the countries believe that Kosovo has a place in the national community. Toward the end of his interview, he discussed the agreement with Serbia that has been under such dispute, saying that the ruling of the Constitutional Court must be respected. According to him, the creation of this statute must be based on the agreement signed with the mediation of the EU and must fully respect the Constitution of Kosovo. Thanks for joining us again for our English edition, and please tune in at the same time tomorrow. Have a great night.